DTM Major, how you doing?
I'm in good shape, man.
Good stuff,
Pretty
man.
good shape, yes.
Let's jump right into it. How has Club 1600 impacted your life? 45 years. Tell us a bit about how the club has impacted your life.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's 46 years. 1979 to now. It's 46 years. And just as I had commanded Tony Longley to attend the meeting, everybody has a mentor. My mentor is Bernard Hanna. Bernard Hanna, who came to sell me some insurance, I asked him how could I get in that field. And he gave me his boss's card, who subsequently recruited me. And they hired me on August 1, I think it was, 1979. And Bernard Hanna said, I'll see you at Toastmasters this coming Thursday, an order. And I asked, what do you do there? And he said, nothing. You'll just sit. And I'm a very shy person, which is why I joined. I went and I sat down in that meeting, and back then, a lot of the members were leaders in various top businesses around the place and government. The chief passport officer was in there, a judge was in there, the accountants and other stuff. I remember in the bathroom, two of us was peeing side by side, and I was pleased to be peeing next to an accountant.
Come on, man.
That's how lofty they were. But anyway, at that first meeting, towards the end of the meeting, the president, who was the current prime minister, Philip Brave Davis, he was the president, and he came with guest remarks, and he called my name. I had been told I wasn't gonna have to say anything. I was very frightened, I was very scared, and it's at that time that I told a common joke that has lasted for 46 years. He asked me, what did I think about the meeting? And I said, I'll liken this meeting to a meal. I have dined sufficiently. I have feasted scrumptiously. Never before have I been so sanctified by the malendations of my fluctuations. And everybody laughed, and that relaxed me totally into the club.
That's awesome, man. It's funny you mention that communication aspect and learning to sit there. I want to kind of segue into how important communication has been to your journey, and especially in life, learning to become that effective communicator who you are. And gents, by the way, we are respecting the urinal rule. One man missed the urinal, next man, I must clarify. DTM Major, the floor is yours.
Your question again was?
Yes, regarding communication skills and being an effective communicator, and how has that assisted you in life, whether it be professionally, personally, etc., over the period of time?
When I was appointed in 2002 to the board, not as chairman yet, of Bahamas Electricity Corporation, the then Prime Minister Perry Gladstone Christie, in introducing us, indicated that somebody had done a professional report, and there were 39 main problems they identified back then in 2002 with BPL, with BC at the time. And each of us were given a copy of this document. This is a power company. 36 of the 39 problems were lack of communication. 36 of the 39 problems. It led me into the field of communication. This communication problem started with Eve. God used to come down every day and face-to-face have a chat with them. Ever since she ate the fruit, he couldn't talk face-to-face anymore. And we had a whole lot of communication problems or people not intending to communicate.
Write that down, gents.
So if you check almost anything that's wrong with anything, you'll see lots of communication or lack thereof. I had a boss who once told me, before you call a meeting of different people, think who all should be involved. Don't communicate to Cyprian and his boss doesn't know. Or think who all should be involved. And so this thing called communication, if we can master that. For example, I came into the meeting looking for an agenda. We were taught in Toastmasters that if it's a meeting of 2 or 2,000, have an agenda. I'm getting adjusted to the electronic world. I guess you have yours on your electronic stuff. But that's a main thing that you need to have, and that's all a part of communication. Communication is not only about speaking, it's more about listening. Sir Lyndon Pinland was a great speaker. Martin Luther King was a great speaker. Mandela spoke many great thoughts. But I am told that the three of those gentlemen will listen you to death. And so, which is one of the reasons I came here. I didn't have to come until 4. I came at 2 for 2 reasons. I wanted to hear how the new sets of our current leaders were leading out, and they did a fantastic job. And I wanted to see if what they were saying and what you were asking were still relevant to what I knew. So I found a lot of relevancy here. You have different packaging of things, but the core values are still the same.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate that. Communication. I think you said something just now that I've had to face personally the hard way, as far as before you have a meeting, and to take it further, before you send out any type of communique or have any type of conversation, always know all the parties who should be involved. You never know your boss's boss, your supervisor, your staff. Figuring that out before you say or do something is extremely critical in the corporate world. So I really want to thank you for mentioning that. Gents, I'll give you a quick secret about DTM Major. He might keep a good face now, but he is very upset that nobody's writing anything down. I might as well tell you he gets upset. So write your questions down, write down important things, because you will forget, and get in the habit from now, because every mentor you go to, carry a pen, carry a paper. If they see you not writing, it's going to be a problem. So that's my tip for the day. So now I'd like you to kind of talk about your time in leadership on the executive and some of the things you learned there. What has that taught you, that experience on the executive?
The first time I was on the executive, I joined the club in 1979, and I became Sergeant at Arms in 1980. And I would attend executive meetings, and every meeting, the president would say, Sam Mitchell would say, meet with your committees and come back and report. Meet with your committees, come back, report. And he said that for 6 months, and I never met with my committee because I was afraid. I was afraid to call a committee meeting. And I was in charge of social and reception.
Yeah.
Of course, this was important to the president. He realized that I was afraid to call a meeting, and he jumped in with me and said, come, let us go and call a meeting and let us run these things. And what I learned from that in terms of mentoring is mentoring, and also when I was president, often some of your executives aren't performing, but they don't want to be called out. It's because they're afraid. And so privately, sometimes you help one of them out and you go with them and help them do the work. And when they come back to the meeting, you let them report on it and let them take the credit. I've learned, and this is something else I've learned in mentoring as well, mentors don't want you to publicize that you are mentoring them. But the truth of the matter is, if you think about it, most of the guys who announce that they are mentoring you are doing that so they could get the credit above you. Think about it. And so I have stayed away from disclosing who I mentor. But I've mentored just about everybody in the club. In fact, when I was I was last, and excuse me for running all over the place, I was last
sure.
president 39 years ago. 39 years ago. Typically, the past president shows up for the year after, and then you hardly see him after that. The question comes, well, why did you hang around? I hung around because of two reasons. One, as a senior management official at Imperial Life, I sponsored $1,000 towards the boiled fish run for about 15 years. So I was in. So each new coming president didn't want to lose that $1,000, right? So they stayed close to me. But we parlayed that into. I mentored a lot of presidents in the past. We had a trust relationship with each other. We had a trust relationship, and so that's how that worked.
No, that's awesome, man.
One question I wanted to get to early before we both forgot, and that was this, gentlemen. I love what I see here. I see those who came in and have subsequently achieved. I see Toastmaster Cyprian Gibson. I used to drop him home at night sometimes, and we would sit in the car talking till 1 a.m. about leadership stuff. I walk in Water and Sewage Friday, and I look up and I saw Deputy General Manager. I thought they was teasing him when they got that, but I saw that. It's real. It's real. You know, I saw, and then I saw different people, different people who had climbed. Just about, you have people in here, they have done well. And those of you who are new, we all started out like you. So this is a road. This is a road you're going to take. And so pay special attention to that. Now, there's a difference between those of us from the baby boomers generation and those millennials. And I've proven this with all of the guys I met. When I mentor a youth, the first thing I do when I mentor you is I ask you, what are your goals? What are your goals for the next year? What are your medium goals, 3 years? What are your long-term goals, 5 years? And I ask you to write that down and give it back to me. And a lot of people come back in a day or two with all of those goals on a half of a page of paper. Half of a page of paper. And then I realize they don't know anything about goal setting. And I realized a couple of things. Goal setting, remember, if you don't know where you're going, you'll certainly get there.
Nowhere.
Goal setting is like going to the airport with all of those rows where Bahamas Air travels, all those different islands, and the person says, where are you going? And you say, oh, I'm riding Bahamas Air. Which one of these are you going on? If you don't have goals, that's how you are operating in life. Some people don't even know they don't have goals. I find it's a great difficulty. Now, why is it that this crew of people don't have goals? Because when I was growing up, you had to, at a certain age, you had to go and do things for yourself. This era of people If they, most of the things that was right there, the parents, if you want toilet tissue, you just go in the cupboard. When I was growing up, if you want toilet tissue, you had to go buy it, right? If you want deodorant and soap, it's just right in the cupboard. So mommy and daddy's the source of all these things, right? And so, so you didn't have to go and look for anything. So now when you get in real life, right? You got a little job, a nice job, but you think you've arrived, but you're not going to go any further because you have no goals. You don't even understand that you need that goal setting. Goal setting will get you to where you want to go. Another thing I do with my people is I ask them about when they come back, they don't have the goals. I recommend them to Dr. Miles Monroe book on The Power of Vision. It's the best books on goal setting I've ever seen. And he has a companion workbook that'll teach you how to do goals. Okay? Now, in your success drive, you can become whatever you want to become if you read on that subject for 1 hour a day for 5 years. You will become the best of whatever you want to be. I'll repeat that. If you want to become the best of anything, any profession, you read on that subject for 1 hour a day for 5 years, and you will become the authority in that area. Reading, you cannot get away with reading. All the big leaders that you think just automatically became rich and all that, they read. And a lot of the reading you do is to confirm that what you're doing is right, Some of it gives you new stuff, but a lot of it kind of confirms what you're doing. All right? So you need your reading, and then you need your goal setting to know where you want to go. Next question. I got so much stuff in my head, I don't want to talk too much. I really want to know if you know where you're going. And I guarantee if I ask that question, not too many will know the answer. Do you know where you're going? Let me make it a simple question. Why did you join 1600? On the night that you had to do your 3 meetings, what did you see in those 3 meetings that caused you to join? Because so many, after getting the pin and after walking around, so many disappear. But I don't blame them because you need that initial mentor who should be the person who told you to come out. Right? That initial mentor is necessary to move you through those steps. Without that, you feel like a stranger. Every night I got to ask the same guys what their name is. They get tired of me asking me. So I make a joke out of it. They get tired of it. Okay? So a lot of people fall on the wayside because of that. But you have to know, what is your goal? What is your goal? Why did you join the club? I joined the club, first of all, I wanted to sell insurance. Why did I want to sell insurance? Because the week before Bernard Hanna came to sell me insurance, the wife who was making more money than me was then dictating how we spent the money. And I say, if I die, I'm going to make more money than you. And the next month, this guy shows up with the solution. And I think to this day, she didn't like me going to insurance because to her it was a vehicle to shut her mouth up. All right? All right? The mouth still ain't shut. It's still to be shut, Okay. And so when I saw Toastmasters could take me out of my, when I saw when I saw Toastmasters could take me out of my shyness and allow me to sell and talk to people, and therefore my income could be limitless, Toastmasters was my vehicle. You see, you're not somebody, you're not a mechanic and a Toastmaster. You are, both of those are one. You're not an electrician, or you're not a teacher, you're not an accountant. Both of those are one. It is the leadership vehicle to make you the best at who you are. Even if you are just fixing washing machines, which, by the way, you can make tons and tons of money and become richer than some normal people. So you Toastmasters that you are now in must tie in with that goal that you have to achieve. Then once you identify that, but then some don't even know their goal. But you have to go back to that first night when you join. Why? Why did you join? Why did you join? And then when you do that, once you find out why you join and how it will help you wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do, then the vehicle you focus on becomes Toastmasters. You will come to meeting on time. You will hear the national anthem. You wouldn't be like half the people in here today who came in more than 20 minutes late on a super seminar. And so some of you guys watch the past presidents drifting late and all that. These fellas done been through all that. You see how all the new executives got to be there on time? We done been through all that. Come on time, not because others come late. You come on time because you want to get in and learn this leadership thing as quickly as possible. How else do you learn the leadership stuff? Learn your speeches. You're going to have to be able to speak. Make you confident. Learn your speeches. If you are part of a committee, attend the committees. Committees run the United States. The Ways and Means Committee, the Tax Committee, they run the United States. Committees run churches. Committees are powerful. Committees are where the next chairman is chosen. Work your committees. I love that new pathways, by the way. I'm going to get serious about that, right? Evaluation. Speaking is important. Evaluation is more important. Why is evaluation important? Because in life, the higher you go, all you're going to do is evaluate people, places, things, situations, and costs. All you're going to do is evaluation. So you might as well get the evaluating eye now. And the higher you go, you tell the guys down there to do the work, send me up 3 proposals. They send you the 3. What are you doing? You are evaluating the 3 proposals. What happened? Write me a report. You are evaluating the report. And so take your evaluation serious. Take your speeches serious. This is the vehicle that will get you wherever. I have found that if I have to write a reference letter on a person who is a Toastmaster, or who worked with me, his habits and attitudes are no different in Toastmasters than they are on the job. They're one and the same. Okay? So let this be your core. Let this be the core of what you want to be. If you want to be a priest, if you want to be a carpenter, if you want to be whatever you want to be, let this program that you came in and you joined. And remember this, climbing the top is lonely. Only 5% go to the top. You don't see no bunch of fellas climbing no coconut tree. You see 1 or 2. So don't look around. Don't look around for no friends. So when you walk in the meeting, I told this to Carlos Palacios years ago, him and the ice cream man. I said, listen, guys, let me see you all here and singing the national anthem. Don't worry about the sparse attendance. Come here, read your manual, show up. And every night, those guys did that and they saw it. Okay? They saw it, those who stayed in the program. They saw it. And so success is no panacea. Success is going over the fundamentals and doing them over and over. Let me explain that. Those of you how many of you play ball? Softball or baseball or basketball or cricket or, all right? When you go to practice, what do they do in practice?
Same thing.
Drill on what?
Same thing.
Simple fundamentals, basic shot. And you do hundreds of them. You do it over and over. Why? So that it becomes second nature. So when the great moment comes for a great shot, you don't practice those shots. Michael Jordan didn't practice those shots.
No.
He mastered the fundamentals. So that when the moment shifted, automatically he shifts and it goes in. It's the same thing with you. Master the fundamentals of speaking. Master the fundamentals of listening. Master the fundamentals. One of the benefits, by the way, of public speaking, one of the benefits for those of you who don't want to be a public speaker, sometimes you get caught in a situation where you're accused of something and it ain't right, and with your boss or something like that. And you got to face a committee of people, and you got to talk your way out of that.
Got that right.
Being a good speaker allows you to relax, look at your audience, and get that done. When people are interviewing you on a job for a position, they are more nervous than you. And if you are confident and you ask them questions, they leave there more impressed with you than you think, because they're afraid. Why are they afraid? You don't hire people all the time. Somebody leaves, you get together, and you interview me. So you're ahead of that. One other story I'd like to tell you before my coattails get pulled, and that is this: in public speaking. Yeah, it's an old story. In I think it's 97. Anyway, Imperial Life was opening its offices in Freeport. And Prime Minister Hubert Ingram had come down for the opening along with 6 or 7 of his ministers. I was at Imperial Life. My boss, who was Canadian, he was there. My boss's boss was there. And his boss's boss was there. 3 levels of bosses above him were there. So it was 6 of us, and it was 6 cabinet ministers, including the prime minister. We all had a private, intimate dinner around the same table, like a dining room table. And the prime minister there spoke on behalf of the government and all that. And while he was talking, my boss leaned over and said, "Mage, I want you to speak on behalf of the company." Okay, no problem. I'll write this out and all this other stuff. And remember, the 3 levels of bosses over me. And I said, okay, I'll work on it. So 30 seconds later, when the prime minister was finished, he leaned on me and he said, "What you waiting for?" Table topics. Eh? I had to say something. I don't know what came out of my mouth. But one thing I know was they were all graciously thanking me after. And within 4 months, I was promoted as the first Bahamian vice president here and in Canada. People would rather die than speak. That is real. So when you could speak, the committees I chair now, the Insurance Commission, etc., basic running the meeting rules weren't always there. They may call for the motion, they may call for the second, but they forget to call for the vote. Okay? So all of this, you're preparing for.
Mike is yours. So that was a spectacular answer, and I think he touched quite a bit, much more than was asked of him. He spoke about leadership. He spoke about communication. He spoke about his successes. He spoke about how to get your wife quiet. You know, these are all critical, important topics that we all need to learn. They haven't quite gotten that recipe right yet, but we'll get there. So as we close, I just want to kind of get a sense of distinguished Toastmaster Munnings mentioned earlier about going through these rungs of leadership and serving on the executive and spending that time with each other. A certain type of camaraderie and brotherhood is developed. Some lifelong friendships are formed. I want you to briefly speak on that brotherhood of 1600 that you would have experienced over the last 45 years or so.
Oh yeah, well, the signature relationship I developed in Club 1600 was with my friend Clem Foster. We had met on the soccer field before we met in Toastmasters. Back then I was 175 pounds and I was a center forward scoring a lot of goals in the league. And Clem was a defender. And we had this one rule: let ball pass, let man pass. Don't let ball and man pass. So I beat Clem on the play and Clem kicked me down. He was round the field. Anyway, I come to Toastmasters and here is this guy I upset with in the league, but we put it all aside. And he was from Trinidad, and Kingsley Monroe was running a campaign, and I was his campaign manager. And our main thrust was no non-Bahamian could become president of this club. And we campaigned on that and won.
Prayers, help me out.
And but then after that, I felt so bad about it. And me and Clem actually became best of friends by talking about it. Right? By talking. That was in the ears of behavioralization. And so there's a lot of camaraderie you develop with your executives. What we call the brotherhood. One thing I'd like to say about the brotherhood and the brand and all this other stuff. 1600 is beautiful, is nice, is wonderful, but the Toastmasters brand can't be worth anything without the other clubs. Mm-hmm. And we tend sometimes to be a little aggressive towards them. We sometimes tend to be in your face and all that, right? There's some beautiful people out there in some of those other clubs, and they love you to death, and they're all Toastmasters. And some of them have better programs than we have sometimes.
Yep.
Okay? And so let us love the brand of 1600, but also love the brand of the wider Toastmaster body. Okay? And you'll find a brother and sisterhood among all of that. All right? I don't think I answered your question, but I don't know if anyone had no questions.
No, I think that's important in terms of brotherhood and realizing the expansion of how far it goes, which leads us into a very quick back and forth segment of question and answering. So you ask a question, it's answered in a minute. He can do it. Watch it.
Yes, I can show
you. So we have one question over here.
No, one was here first, then I'll get you second.
We have presidential.
Yeah.
I yield.
Distinguished Toastmaster Keith Major for your keen eye. You mentioned that in order for us to become successful, we should read, make sure you get your words right. You said read 1 hour a day for 5 years, and that can make you an authority on whatever the subject matter is that you want to master. Mm-hmm. Which books have made the most impact? I guess you can give me the top 3 books that made the biggest impact in your life. Okay. The
top 3 books I've read, and all my mentors, I tell them about this, they are old books. The first book I read was Psycho-Cybernetics, because I went into the sales field, and Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz, old book, but Psycho-Cybernetics is a book written by a plastic surgeon who made people beautiful, but when they look in the mirror, they still saw themselves as ugly. So in essence, it taught you how to project the subconscious forward. Like if you have a sale coming up, you start thinking about that sale, that it'll come out good beforehand. And when you get there, it happens. Or if you're giving a speech, so that's the first book, How to Project Your Mind. The second one was The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. Schwartz. Dr. J. And the third one was Psycho-Cybernetics.
That's the first one.
No, sorry, was Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
Think and Grow Rich, especially chapter 13. One of my mentors, there's a chapter in there called Sex Transmutation, which says that
Watch it.
men become after 40, that's when men become successful because that's when they stop chasing cow and tail. And so the testosterone is limited. Yeah, it goes in there. One of my mentees tried that and came back and said, Chief, I can't keep that up. I said, I wasn't telling you to try that while you're young. So those are 3 books. And I'd like to, the same vision book from Dr.
That's,
Miles Monroe.
that's the power and principle of
Yes.
vision.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my question. That's trying to find out the name of the book by Miles Monroe.
Yeah. Power and principles of vision.
Yes. And you can get right from their office. And there's a companion workbook. It helps you work through it because it forces you to form goals. All right, anybody else?
Any other questions?
Yes.
About the book, the companion workbook, it comes with the book.
You buy it separate.
Okay.
Yeah, but these small books, the book is only 163 pages.
That big.
But powerful.
Right. Take a while to read though. It's
Yeah.
small, but take me 2 years to read that
You
page.
said that you basically mentored basically all of the presidents, well, most of the presidents.
A lot of them, yeah. But they don't want you to know that.
So, needless to say, that means you're a fountain of knowledge, right? What key traits that you usually would give to a lot of these presidents that makes them a successful president?
Yeah.
Top 3.
Well, I'll tell you something. We used to get a monthly Toastmasters magazine. I used to read that magazine from front to back every month. And I found that when I read, I knew more than everybody else. Because most people didn't read. Right? I knew more, and so if you want to learn about the program, you read that, right? Now your question was how to be a good president.
Top 3 traits.
The key traits. The key traits really is and then you have to be an anticipator. Like if you watch tennis, if you hit the ball over there, the guy could either hit it back here or here. You have to anticipate properly where he's going to hit it. Huh? You have to anticipate that. And then I would say you have to have vision. You have to lead them somewhere. Take them where they want to go. But you also have to manage them in love privately. Here's what I mean. You have a collective executive, and in that collecting, a lot of stuff come out. So after that is over, you take them one by one and let's get this thing done. But everybody has to unite behind that vision. I mean, there's a million other things I could tell you. But by the time you get president, you would have had so much other training on that executive that the only difference is the three levels of management you need of performance you need in life, but Toastmasters gives you. First of all is confidence, which comes from speaking on the floor. That's the first one. On the executive, that comes from running your area, but the buck stops with the president. But when you become president, the buck stops with you. You got to sometimes you're wrong, you got to make a call and stay with your call, because that's how the referees do it, right? But you're wrong, right? But the buck stops with you. And when the buck stops with you, that's a different kind of pressure. That's a different kind of pressure. So those 3 things. All right, so in the back there, green.
Yeah.
And then I'll come to you next.
Yeah.
Eddie's out walking early in the mornings. I see him.
Watch out. Who you walking with, man?
DTM major, you said learn leadership quickly. What are some key skills you would give a college student who haven't entered the corporate world as yet?
Okay. First of all, leadership is not about striving to manage in the corporate world. Leadership is about managing yourself. You can't do anything in life without this word. Discipline. Discipline. You can't save money. And therefore you can't invest. And therefore the leadership of yourself, which all ties in with your goal setting. And as you, and before you climb the corporate ladder, you have to conquer you. You have to manage you. And whatever goes with that. If you set goals to read and all this, they'll see you. Because then you start asking questions and this is how in the boardroom, the managers, they're always looking for new managers, you know. Always looking for new managers. How do they judge? They go to the company party. Who's chairing that? Who's speaking at that? That one. They be looking. They be looking. Okay? So your participation, I always used to ask a question just for the record. You never know who's looking. All right? I may not have answered your question, but I tried. Huh?
Right. So, DTM, you spoke about goals and goal setting.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said when you ask millennials about their goals, usually it comes back with half a page. Now, I want to know, what do you think is the biggest contrast with baby boomers to millennials in terms of goal setting? Is it that millennials don't necessarily put timestamps on the goals? Is it that the goals are the main things rather than the real objectives to get to that end product? What is the main difference?
Thank you. Good question. The problem with millennials, you can say it, the problem with millennials is they have no goals. They don't understand goal setting. They didn't have to, because everything was given. Like me, I wanted a house, I wanted a car, I wanted to move. Millennials, oh, lady got a house here. Why don't they hurry up and die? Or something like that. That's how they think. And goal setting, and I don't mean to pick on them, and a lot of people don't have goals. You cannot move anywhere in anything without a set of goals. Otherwise, 2-3 years from now, you'll still be here. So you don't want to be here. So where are you going? When you can find out where you're going? When you drive to the airport, then you can say, okay, I might go to San Salvador, or I might go to Georgetown, Exuma. Where are you going? All right? And you need a goal high and hard enough and impossible enough for you to keep reaching. You need 1-year goals, 3-year goals, 5-year goals. Why? Because you might hit the 3-year goals in 1 year. You may hit the 5-year goal in 3 years. Life is a journey, not a destiny. Life is a journey. You keep moving your own goal posts. However, the journey is beautiful. The ups and downs of the journey are nice. The different people you meet, all the new speakers, all the old speakers, it's a broad level. It's a nice journey. Okay? So you keep moving. It's never a destiny. And so what that says is, okay, I want to go somewhere. Wherever you are now, when I came in the club, I was a sales guy in insurance, just having left teaching. The only goal I had was make more money than the wife. Really. Until I studied up on these things. And so 1980, I said to myself, I want to be known as Mr. Insurance in this town, because I had kept reading about it. I was becoming the professional, what you brought up again. Reading about it for an hour a day. Okay? I started to love it, and I said, I want to become known as Mr. Insurance in this town. Then I started achieving all my goals, and so I had to stop writing them down because it was just too frightening. You could achieve them if you understand them. In millennials, you got to take time to understand goals, why, what. I ain't got time to teach you there. But all I know is my mentees that I deal with, around about the 6th or 9th month, it's become kind of a little clearer about goal setting. It ain't something you can easily pick out. Because you all then got what you want. Why I say that? That's why you pick up and you go and you spend all your money at the end of the month away. Discipline. You need discipline. Discipline by itself means denying yourself of something. Right? Discipline. Now, if I had more discipline about food, I'd be a different person. But right? So everybody got their stuff. But a lot of people indisciplined about money, about where they're going, about their work, about most of y'all indisciplined about coming to club regularly and coming to club on time. And as you know, that's a pet peeve with me. And
Don't start.
and wearing tie. But that's good. But I like that. He don't let go of that. But you have to ask him why. Why doesn't he let go of that? And I bet you it's some really, really deep reason. You see what I'm saying? You need something like that you're going to hold on to. All right, next person.
So I think that's every.
No,
Yeah,
no
definitely.
question I was responding to.
Oh,
Yeah. Last question, eh? Oh,
So-
Tyler.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Quick
recognizing me. Now, we said a lot of really inspiring things this evening. One word I didn't hear, however, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, was passion. Now, a lot of people tie passion to purpose. A lot of people tie purpose to discipline, and discipline to goals. So to kind of roundabout that, a lot of people have difficulty connecting that, making that connection. How have you, if this is something that you have done, been able to connect your passion to your purpose and turn that purpose into your discipline to then begin to set those goals? Because a lot of us have that issue where we don't know what our vision or our passion is.
Right.
How do you find that passion to make that connection?
Okay. That's a university question. That's a hard question, but I'm going to try and answer it.
In a minute or less. Watch it. Watch this.
Passion, first of all, comes from a belief in pursuing what it is you think you want. A belief in pursuing, because if you ain't want nothing, you ain't going nowhere. Okay? Now, where does that passion come from? You are a cameraman. You are an audio-visual man. You are I don't know what you call what you do. But it is unique. It is unique to what other people in here want. So how did you get that passion? How did you focus on that? In each of you, the good Lord puts something. Sometimes it comes out as disgruntled about something you want to correct, something that just covers you, all right? You have passion about what you want to do, okay? But that came, as Miles Monroe said, your future is not ahead of you, it's inside you. What are the things bothering you? You want to go and make sandwiches and cook gobble duff and all that? Could be you want to go in the restaurant business. You want to coach, you want to interpret the law, you want to figure out numbers. Could be, you see what I'm saying? Inside of you is where you find who you are. And the word enthusiasm, and through God in us. Inside of you is where the answer to everything is on everything. Inside. So you got to know you. And some of the things you consider to be problems are really things that are stirring inside of you to say, hey, go over there and bottom line, what we all do is solve problems. So the problem is put in you. You got me? Okay, I think my man rushing me off now. So. Hey, but can we get one last question just to piss off? Question in the back, right there. Go ahead. Wallace.
Wallace.
So I have a young man who asked me a few days ago, how does he organize his future so that he becomes as impactful as Jeffrey Epstein?
What?
Without causing controversy that he did, as it relates to networking globally. I don't have an answer. I told him I'd be thinking.
And you want me to answer that? You know what Epstein is doing, man? He need to go talk to Ghislaine, who Trump about to let out. Wallace, that's a hard one. I saw one final hand. Who hand that was?
It was
Chip.
Munnings.
Thank you, Toastmaster Major. Very insightful. Two things I learned from you, when you can expand on either one.
Yeah.
One is one of my favorite management styles, work with the willing and the new.
Yes.
And then another is what you threw on me, well, close down the excuse factory. And what are you doing
At 3
a.m. in the morning? Which one of those you can expand?
Oh, man.
Both.
Yeah. My greatest, that is, I guess.
Favorite, pick your favorite.
Both of those are my favorite. So I'll combine them together. But what work with the willing and the new? When you start something, be it a Toastmaster Club, be it a new agency, be it a new job, be it a new something, oftentimes you think you need somebody or you need somebody and they start out with you and they stop and you think the end of your world has come. Okay? And sometimes in Toastmasters, how can we get the old guard back out? I say, don't go after the old guard. Say, why? I said, they're not going to come out. They've already done that. They're going to promise you. It's going to be a waste of time. So what do? You go after those who are willing to help you and those who are new. On your other question about the 3 a.m. in the morning, I'll tell you something that happened to me throughout my career. Two things I never gave up. I never gave up church, and I never gave up Toastmasters. But every time I excelled, and I got promoted plenty and in short periods of time, every time I took on more responsibility, it was at a time I was taking on more responsibility in Toastmasters. Right? When I was made VPE, I got a bigger thing. President, I got and then there's this dilemma in your head. Oh, do not give up the thing that got you where you are in that position, which is leadership. Stay with it. Do you know why? And you could have your mic. Do you know why I still hang around? I didn't tell you the second reason. I've always considered myself a trainer or an influence. People come to me and I give them advice. I always wanted to stay current to see how new people were thinking. So when I gave advice, it was pertinent. I wanted to see how the world was changing. In all my jobs, I was a vice president, but 90% of my time was training. I was training managers under me, and when my managers wouldn't train the agents, I go train them myself. Because a lot of the problems you have is a lack of training. And so I had this training focus all my life. And so I hang around, and we work with me and Clem Foster. We work with a lot of people individually and in groups because it fed what I was doing. I have a training company that I do. I do training. And so in order to do training, my passion spreads by hanging around the club and new people coming in all the time requiring training. Nobody can blow away that passion. Why? Because it came from inside of me. And therefore I work with the willing and the new. That's it.